I've been surprised at how many pictures of patients who are like 20, 30 years old having deep neck contouring for removal of portions of their spit glands or with removal of fat to dramatically change their jawline because they're looking for that super crisp and they just do not get it with just liposuction because they have a genetic component to it. One of the things I've been seeing more and more on social media is more things about deep neck contouring. Is this on your algorithm as well, or am I alone on this one?
I personally don't perform it, but if we're thinking a patient, has issues deep with its glands or other things that need to be addressed, then I would refer them to one of my partners because I don't personally enjoy doing those types of things. You're welcome to take this one since you love to do the facelifts.
Yeah, but I'm seeing more and more things either on TikTok or on Instagram where people are talking about wanting to have a like snatched jawline, right? Are you going to get there with just liposuction or do you need something more significant than that? And I think that there is a misconception with a lot of patients about what the fat in the neck is like, where it is, and what it takes to get it completely contoured down. Because liposuction and Renuvian, which is a great combination, use it all the time and absolutely love it, only accesses the fat outside of the platysma muscle. So for our guests out there who don't have a working knowledge of head and neck anatomy, the platysma is the muscle that runs down along the neck here, the stringy stuff here, the stuff that is outside the muscle and in contact with the skin. And that's the stuff we can get with liposuction. The triangle of fat that runs underneath of the muscle, the subplatysmal fat that sits on your spit glands and by the digastrics, all the stuff that's deep in there, we cannot touch with liposuction. So I feel like when I see these patients, and if you have a lot of, pinchable fat on the outside, it's like, obviously you're going to get a nice result. But I run into patients all the time who have a genetic larger neck. They're looking for that really crisp jawline. And when you pinch away, you're pinching at this and you're like, I'm not pinching any fat. All the fat is running down deep. And those patients are not good candidates for straight liposuction or Renuvian. They really need deeper fat pad work with that, like a deep contouring of the neck. But I'm seeing more and more of that cropping up. And it's kind of funny that originally when we had like deep plane facelifts, deep work on the neck, and then we change out to more minimally invasive things, you start to see where it's a split between what candidates are actually going to be really good for the minimally invasive version and what candidates are really going to be the candidates for the more maximally invasive approach. But we all push towards the new technology because we're like, oh, new technology, less downtime, people are going to be happier. And then you run into these patients who are, still need the old school method to really get what they are after. But I've been surprised at how many pictures of patients who are like 20, 30 years old having deep neck contouring for removal of portions of their spit glands or with removal of fat to dramatically change their jawline because they're looking for that super crisp and they just do not get it with just liposuction because they have a genetic component to it.
Yeah, you're the expert on that. So I agree with everything you just said.
I don't know. It just seems
I'll
like
send
something.
them to you.
It's just something that I've seen more and more as we're moving forward. And I think when people are talking about snatched jawlines, you hear people talking about, kids. It's like Gen Alpha kids who were mewing and doing all sorts of stuff to really maximize the jawline. Surgically, that's what's really making that super dramatic change for people like that. It's like, it's not really going to be the liposuction of Renuvian. But for the article in Glamour, it's like she was a good candidate for it. I mean, she had a nice result. It was a nice change for her. But it's certainly true that if she wanted a more defined jawline, it's like that's what she would be moving forward with is kind of the deeper neck contouring. Yeah. I wonder if we're going to continue to see more of that as people get more and more excited about jawlines. If you can't get it with lipo and you can't get it with jawline filler, that's the next stop.
I mean, it's obviously a hot topic. You read the article in Glamour. I was interviewed actually 2 days ago for an article exactly about submental liposuction, jawline contouring, and neck liposuction. The whole article, and it's in a major magazine. I can't say where it's going to be released, but it was an interview, and they had interviewed me because they're like, well, we know you've talked about having it your own done. Again, a lot of the things in this article are what you've already touched on. So it's definitely a huge topic, like you said. I think it's going to become more and more. Social media is spreading it. So I think it's great that you're talking about that and you're an expert in that. So.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's like it was something I would consider if I didn't have a beard covering it. I can feel that the skin is looser here and it's a little bothersome to me when I'm picking at it, but I can't see it because it's hidden, which is, beards are like our version of makeup to hide imperfections, right? It's like I don't use makeup, but I have a beard to cover half my face. Also saves me on skincare.
That's true. I actually can't grow facial hair very well, but when I had my submental lipo, it's the first time I ever grew hair because when I would razor or shave it, it was so hypersensitive from the lipo. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't touch it. So I let my hair grow out. So it's funny because even though I had a more contoured jawline, I was hiding it with my facial hair, like the opposite. But now it feels fine.